Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Narrated Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The people of Bani Israel used to take bath naked, all together looking at each other. The Prophet Moses used to take a bath alone. They said, by Allah, nothing prevents Moses from taking a bath with us except that he has a sacrotal hernia." So once Moses went out to take a bath and put his clothes over a stone, and then that stone ran away with his clothes. Moses followed that stone, saying, "My clothes, O stone, my clothes, O stone." I still, the people of Bani Israel, saw him and said, by Allah, Moses has got no defect in his body. Moses took his clothes and began to beat the stone. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala added, by Allah, there are still 6 or 7 marks present on that stone from that excessive beating. Narrated Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when the Prophet Job was taking a bath naked, golden locusts began to fall on him. Job started collecting them in his clothes. His Lord addresses him, "O Job, haven't I given you enough so that you are not in need of them?" Job replied, "Yes, by your honor, but I cannot dispense with your blessing." Narrated Hani bint Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anha, I went to Allah Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the year of the conquest of Mecca and found him taking a bath while Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha was screening him. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, "Who is it?" I replied, "I am Hani." Narrated Maimuna radiallahu ta'ala anha, I screened the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam while he was taking a bath of janaba. He washed his hands, poured water from his right hand over his left hand, and washed his private parts. Then he rubbed his hand over a wall or the earth and performed ablution similar to that for the prayer, but did not wash his feet. Then he poured water over his body, shifted from the place, and washed his feet. Narrated Salama radiallahu ta'ala anha, the mother of the believers, Salim, the wife of Abu Talha, came to Allah Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, "O Allah Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam, verily Allah is not shy of telling you the truth. Is it necessary for a woman to take a bath after she has a wet dream?" Allah Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "Yes, if you noticed a discharge." Narrated Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came across me in one of the streets of Medina, and at that time I was junub. So I slipped away from him and went to take a bath. On my return, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "O Abu Hurairah, where have you been?" I replied, "I was junub, so I dislike to sit in your company." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Subhanallah, a believer never becomes impure." Narrated Anas bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to visit all his wives in one night, and he had 9 wives at that time. Narrated Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Allah Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam came across me and I was junub. He took my hand and I went along with him till he sat down. I slipped away and went home and took a bath. When I came back, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam was still sitting there. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam then said to me, "O Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, where you have been?" I told him about it. The Prophet ﷺ said, Subhanallah, O Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, a believer never becomes impure. Narrated Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, I asked Allah Apostle sallallahu alayhi wasallam, can any one of us sleep while he is junub? He sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, yes. If he performs ablution, he can sleep while he is junub. Narrated Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, I asked Allah Apostle sallallahu alayhi wasallam, can any one of us sleep while he is junub? He sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, yes. If he performs ablution, he can sleep while he is junub. Narrated Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, whenever the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam intended to sleep while he was junub, he used to wash his private parts and perform ablution like that for the prayer. Narrated Abdullah, Umar asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, can any one of us sleep while he is junub? He sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, yes, if he performs ablution. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu told Allah Apostle sallallahu alayhi wasallam, I became junub at night. Allah Apostle sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, perform ablution after washing your private parts and then sleep. Narrated Hashim, as the following Hadith 290, narrated Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when a man sits in between the four parts of a woman and did the sexual intercourse with her, bath becomes compulsory. Narrated Zaid bin al-Khalid al-Juhani, I asked Uthman bin Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu about a man who engaged in the sexual intercourse with his wife but did not discharge. Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu replied, he should perform ablution like that for the prayer after washing his private parts. Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu added, I heard that from Allah Apostle sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I asked Ali bin Abi Talib, Az-Zubair bin al-Awam, Talha bin Ubaidullah, and Abi bin Ka'b, and gave the same reply. Abu Ayyub said that he had heard that from Allah Apostle sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This order was cancelled later on, so one has to take a bath. Narrated Ubay bin Ka'b, I asked Allah Apostle sallallahu alayhi wasallam about a man who engages in sexual intercourse with his wife but does not discharge. He sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, he should wash the private parts which comes in contact with the private parts of the woman, perform ablution and then pray. Abu Abdullah radiallahu ta'ala said, taking a bath is safer and is the last order.